There are two things that we learn from this chapter. One is that this is possibly one of the greatest chapters we've ever seen in Dragon Ball Super. And two, Moro has fucked up coming to Earth, yo. Okay, so before I start reviewing this chapter, I just want to thank you guys for your continuous support. Like, I know that my views haven't been the best lately, but still, the fact that some of you guys are still sticking around and caring about my thoughts and wanting to hear what I have to say, trust me, guys, it means a lot to me. Like, even like you guys know, I've said it before, this channel is not monetized, but I just do it for the people. For the guys on my Twitter, for my close friends, for people who just want to hear my thoughts. So if you're here with me, then I just want to give you like a big thanks and a big hug to everyone. But without wasting any more of your time, let's get right to this review. So this chapter, Dragon Ball Super Chapter 64, is freaking legendary, to be honest. And I feel like this is one of the chapters that just reminds you of the greatness of this franchise and also how this franchise has the potential to be so freaking good. And I know like I'm being such a broken record because I've spoken about this in previous reviews before, but this is something that they need to capitalize on. Like just the attitude of the show and the trajectory. Because I've been talking a lot about the trajectory of the show, because for the longest time I felt like the show has been derailing from where it was. Like it feels like Toyotaro and Toei Animation, they took specific characters and they took them like to back to square one almost. Like for example, the character of Goku is a lot more childish, is a lot more oblivious, is a lot more like a heightened version or like a more stereotypical version of Goku in Dragon Ball Super. So I'm not saying that Goku is not being himself, but certainly in Dragon Ball Super he resembles more of the Goku that you see from the Team 4-Star version. But lately, especially in this arc, it feels like Toyotaro has been doing a lot to develop the character of Goku and Vegeta. And it's like, finally, it took you guys how many episodes to do that? How many manga chapters to start? I don't want to even say developing, but sort of redeveloping or actually like bringing Goku back to his actual roots in Dragon Ball Z, because a lot of people like to claim that Goku is a character that has always been single-minded. The character of Goku has always been stupid and childlike, and you're right. But you know what? Goku, when he was a child, he used to molest people. He used to verify someone's gender. Goku would actually used to touch their crotches and to actually know if they're a boy or a girl. Goku doesn't do that anymore, so we can't really say that Goku is still like the same he was from the first episode. The character of Goku's the whole concept of the character of Goku is progression, becoming better, developing. And I've said this before. The character of Goku is a character that resonates with a lot of people because he's a symbol of like a role model. Like when I look at Goku and I look at the values that the character of Goku holds, it resonates with me because I also want to become a better version of myself. However, Dragon Ball Super has been focused about the complete opposite. They've been focused about what Goku lacks. And I think that's a very wrong approach because I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to lure in like the newer, younger audience, but this is not the right way to go about it. At least that's what I think. And I think this chapter corrects a lot of it. If you really wanna lure in the younger audience, then you should have just like stuck with Goten and Trunks. I mean, Goten looks like Goku, so you could probably get away with it. People would be confused, be like, oh, that's Goku. You know, isn't that why you created Goten from the first place? Like, I know Akira Toriyama is the one who created him, but come on, like, still. Of course, guys, this chapter has a lot of fighting, and don't worry, I'll do my share of reactions towards specific moments, because I've seen it only once, and I'd like to actually revisit it again and give you, like, my reactions, because some of the shit is, like, it's fire, okay? But before I do that, you know me, MoodZi has to nitpick a few things. Remember when I said that in the beginning of this review, at least like 2 minutes earlier, I was talking about how Toyotaro is trying to develop Goku, and we're actually taking back to how he was in Dragon Ball Z. However, I have just one issue with it. It's a conversation between Goku and Jaco. because Goku makes a statement of his own purpose in this manga chapter. The problem is that it doesn't make sense for Goku's character to be having questions about his purpose, okay? Or even questioning why he is fighting in the first place. Goku is like sort of like a static character. Again, like even though I know that the character of Goku is a character who continuously develop, he's still a static character. He doesn't change. Ideally, he doesn't change. Not in terms of power or in terms of like what he essentially represents, but in terms of his motivation of becoming like the better version of himself, like what I told you about his values. Instead, he has a personal philosophy that he imparts into others, okay? And these philosophies stems from enemies whose philosophies clashes with Goku's. And Goku defeating these enemies proves that his philosophy is the better one. Like when Goku defeats Frieza, he proves that fighting with your own strength and developing and training makes you overcome even like the toughest opponents. However, in chapter 64, Goku suddenly has to think about why he's battling Moro and concludes that it somehow has to do with being a member of the Galactic Patrol. Like, the thing is, Goku is battling Moro for the same reason he has battled any foe in the series. Like, he's a threat to Earth. Why do you need to remind you of that? However, I understand that the death of Moro causes Goku to shoulder some responsibility, and I get it. However, again, with the same Toyotaro, what he does with Vegeta and the stuff he does, it feels like, I don't know, sometimes it feels like he doesn't understand. I don't know if he actually read the manga of Dragon Ball or he didn't. I'm not claiming that I understand Dragon Ball better than Toyotaro, don't get me wrong. He probably knows a lot more than I do, okay? I mean, he is the writer of modern Dragon Ball. But I just feel like they're pretending that there are elements of Goku's character that has always been there, but in reality it wasn't. So that's my only issue. However, in spite of that, I still like the conversation to an extent, and I like the conclusion of the conversation is that Goku is basically trying to honor the wishes of Miras. That Miras is trying to like carry over that ideals, and that's part of the training, is trying to make Goku realize that he's fighting for something bigger than himself. So again, from that narrative standpoint of view, I understand. However, from the previous perspective that I just offered you, that's when I had a little bit of an issue. However, it doesn't change the outcome of this being such an amazing manga chapter, to be honest. So Goku says that Miras may be gone, but his will lives on with him. And then you see Goku powering up, shaking the entire earth. But what's really interesting to note is that Goku has his eyes closed, as if he's trying to submerge all that rage, controlling his own emotion and not letting his anger take over. It's a moment of clarity for the character, a moment that is highlighted when the sequence ends. Unlike the previous form where it shows Goku's intense aura radiating from him, much like Miras, Goku's form looks far more stable. It's like everything went quiet. Even Piccolo says he cannot feel anything. Jaco notes that Goku has his silver hair, clear indication that Goku has finally done it. More than 20 chapters later, 2 years essentially, if not more, and we finally got Goku's mastered Ultra Instinct back again. Now, this form alone intimidates the shit out of Moro. He's so scared that his legs are trembling. His composure from the earlier chapters that we have seen is completely gone. This scene right here is possibly a reference to how Frieza reacted when he first saw Super Saiyan. Or more accurately, how Cell reacted when he saw Gohan's true Super Saiyan 2 power. Toyotaro doesn't shy away from referencing previous moments, as we all know. Goku's walking so slowly towards Moro, and Moro gets so nervous he threatens Goku to stay back. But as soon as Moro makes a slight movement, Goku suddenly disappears in one of the most badass manga panels I've ever seen in a long time. He just stops Moro, and he stops to tell him he won't hurt anyone anymore. Moro gets so angry and tries to punch Goku, but he's blocked, and I absolutely love how it's paneled right here. Before the block occurs, we can see Goku's fingers and hands going into position. He just folds his hands and uses his wrist to knock Moro back. even Moro cannot understand what the hell happened. Like, seriously, like, just the way that Toyotaro is just drawing Goku, it feels like he really spent a lot of time visualizing that in his mind. Because, like, trust me, in order to write this stuff, in order to, like, draw this thing, you have to like actually have like think about it for a long time. So I feel like this is one of the things that Toyotaro was trying to plan for a long time, and he's finally starting to write all of this stuff and putting this stuff, because this right here, like, this is on par with some of the, like, the coolest shit, like the coolest fight sequences. Like, I know, like, I'm being like such a fanboy here, but excuse me, like, it is my right to be a fanboy, because it's been such a long time since I've seen like a Dragon Ball fight that is so freaking cool. Like, that reminds me of like how Dragon Ball Z used to make me feel. So yeah, Moro tries to attack Goku once again, but Goku is just standing and using one arm to block Moro's attacks, and Goku's not even looking at him. Remember when I talked about Toyotaro's paneling? Toyotaro shows you Goku's face and how he's not looking. Like, I'm not sure he needs to open his eyes at this point. Moro is frustrated and tries to kick Goku, but Goku dodges even that. Beerus and Whis are commentating once again, but in this instance we hear some high praise from Beerus. They seem to actually enjoy Goku's performance very much, that Beerus actually says that Goku's fighting is godlike. Speaking of which, we actually see Goku's God Bind in this chapter. The same move Goku used against Broly when he encased him in his move. However, in this version, it proves to be far more successful and effective. Goku even uses it to knock Moro in the air and eagle spear him with his fist. Like, yo, this panel right here is so fucking cool. And I absolutely love how Toyotaro doesn't stop there. He goes and shows you the power of the impact and how the shock waves reach the lookout. It even engulfs the entire earth from how hard he punched him. Moro comes back to the ground heavily damaged. Goku speaks to him as if it's the Funimation dub of Dragon Ball Z, telling him that the suffering ends now. Moro says something very interesting here as a response though. He tells Goku that you must think that you're some sort of god to speak to him that way. And this is like when you combine that with Beerus's comments about how Goku is like godlike, like, I feel like Ultra Instinct, and because you know how Dragon Ball, the conception of Dragon Ball Super was such a rushed product. And I talked about that in the last review, that the product is so rushed that I don't feel like they factored in a lot of the stuff of what it means for Goku to be a god. To the point where the Super Saiyan God transformation, the red and blue one, are just there as new shiny toys. It's just a new like Goku with like a paint job. It's just that he's stronger, but how is he stronger? How it affects his fighting? It doesn't really. Like Super Saiyan Blue, aside from key control, combining it with Kaioken, there's nothing with the form that makes it stand out. However, with Ultra Instinct, ironically the form that compares him with the Angel is the form that makes Goku an actual god, and you can actually feel that. Like, this is the first time where I actually feel like, yo, Goku's on some god level. Like, to the point where it used to be debated, or I mean, at least to an extent, it's still debated that Super Saiyan 4 might be stronger than God. Again, I'm not debating that, but a lot of people are debating with Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan God. And I understand why people are doing it, because God doesn't bring anything special to the table. It's just the name is God, but nothing special. But with Ultra Instinct, it has a lot of special properties, like especially with like not thinking, dodging, your body reacting by itself, just all these special abilities. Like, it just makes Goku on a whole different level. And the whole concept of Goku also having white hair, representing just wisdom and enlightenment and all of that stuff, I think that also adds to the god level. Because a lot of people, like, when you're a god, like, that's such a big statement, to the whole point where like God became meaningless, to the point where Android 17 starts competing with Super Saiyan Blue, Frieza training for 4 months and he's as strong as a god. So I feel like when they made Dragon Ball Super in the beginning, they didn't really think about what the god title entails. But I feel like with Ultra Instinct, that is rectified. But yeah, nothing really changes for the next few panels, because Moro gets frustrated, he gets angry, he goes on the whole I am the strongest in the universe, I am perfect, I am Frieza-sama, you know, like we've seen that before. Like, villains get frustrated, they claim, they start to have this sort of like trying to tell themselves, if anything, trying to remind themselves that, oh, I am the one who's supposed to be in control, exuding that anxiety feeling. And just Goku knocks him and plays around with him. So Goku basically destroys. This chapter as a whole is just Goku demonstrating absolute dominance. Like, just Goku is seriously the most dominant character in this chapter arc. And the whole it is centered also around Goku. Like everything is from the perspective of what Goku's doing and how he has accomplished the master the Ultra Instinct form. The only thing that is worth noting is at the end when Moro asks and pleads for help. And this is where things get interesting. I say this is the most interesting point because Goku talks to Jaco and he asks him that Moro has been sentenced to death, hasn't he? And I think this is a very significant quote from Goku, or like piece of dialogue, because when Jaco basically essentially tells him that, and everybody knows and we know that the only reason why Moro is alive because they haven't found a way to kill him. The dude is literally so powerful that they just can't kill him, so they just put him in a cage and hope to the best that he doesn't escape. So Goku rips off the Galactic Patrol uniform because I think it would bound him to kill Moro, because as a Galactic Patrol member, he is required to kill Moro, and that's why he said he wants to fight him as a human, which is compassionate. And I think this is like Goku trying to like give Moro a second chance. It's probably one of the Goku flaws that Goku has. Maybe it is, or maybe it's just Goku trying to like fight him as a human, as basically, I'm not gonna sentence you as a Galactic Patrolman, but I'm gonna sentence you as a citizen of Earth. Like, your sins, I'm gonna be the one who's gonna like be the judge for you. So I don't know, is this a way for Toyotaro just to try to make Goku fail? Because it's evident by now that Goku essentially can kill Moro. He can kill him, unless Moro does some BS bullshit and gets a new transformation. But Goku's so much more powerful than Moro. Goku's even doing a lot better than how Mirus did against Moro. But to be fair though, Mirus hasn't been able to actually practice his full power or use his full power long enough. So I feel like Goku here is like has a much bigger chance. But anyways, I think this chapter is phenomenal. It is amazing. It is worth reading again, and that's what I did. I actually did read it twice, and I enjoyed every second. And I cannot wait to read the second chapter. I don't know if I'm gonna drop it tomorrow. In fact, I'm gonna work on the main channel. I need to start creating more videos. I want to create bigger topics, so if you guys enjoyed the manga reviews, please slap a like on it. I will try my best. Again, there's no shame. If you want to remind me to do more chapters, you can try to remind me, because again, I'm doing this, guys, for you. This is literally for you, and that's what I'm doing it. And I'm doing it also for myself, but also for you. So I hope we can have the next chapter very soon. And so, like I always say, comment, like, and subscribe. Peace, y'all.